Thanks for stopping by, GF Explorers. Today we are going to make a childhood, dream staple memory, just something I really loved in childhood. And it might have involved, or it may involve, hot dogs wrapped in dough, aka pigs in a blanket. Now originally I thought about doing this as an appetizer, and we found these little tiny hot dogs, which we are going to wrap in dough too. But I decided that, well, you might want to make this as a main dish, serve it with some chili, serve it with French fries for your kids. So we're going to wrap some hot dogs as well. Really easy to do. We're going to use our French baguette recipe. We're not changing it at all. The only change is we're not going to make baguettes out of it. We're going to roll it out, cut some strips, and then wrap our hot dogs and bake them. So we're going to jump right in. I have all the dry ingredients in the bowl ready to go with the paddle attachment. I've got my bowl up, and in here I have the yeast has been activated with the warm carbonated water, and in here I have all the wet. So we're going to put it on one. Let that mix a bit. Then we're going to slowly add both. And as it combines, we're going to go up a speed. It's looking good. Go up again. I'm going to run it to speed for about a minute or so, minute and a half, and then I'm going to go up to the next speed and finish it off about 3 minutes total time. The dough is done mixing and it looks perfect. If you made our French baguette recipe, the dough is going to look very, very similar, be just a little bit drier. I have about a quarter cup less water in this recipe because I want to be able to, the dough to be a little drier so I can manipulate it more. So I'm going to put the bowl down, take off my paddle. I've got my bowl of water and putting my hand in so I can get the dough off of the paddle. I'm going to take the spatula, dip it in the water so it's moist, and I'm going to scoop down or scrape down the sides of the bowl to get all the dough into the middle of the bowl so that it's not hanging out on the sides. There we go, that looks good. I think I forgot to mention before you start anything, preheat your oven to 400 degrees because we're going to use the heat that's coming up from the oven on your stove to help rise this dough. I'm going to add some plastic wrap to the top, put it on top of the stove for 20 minutes, and then we are going to wrap some dough around hot dogs. It rose, it looks really, really wonderful, so we're going to get started. But I want to first address the hot dog issue and gluten-free. I was so excited, went to Whole Foods at Rich, and we found these Fork in the Road little goodies, which are the little tiny cocktail weenies, which was my original idea to make this into appetizers. Nowhere on the packages does it say it's gluten-free. They have great ingredients, all natural ingredients, no natural flavors, has every spice in there, which is very encouraging. So I went to their website, and they do claim that none of their ingredients have gluten in them, no wheat, no nuts, nothing like that. But they are made on a line that produces other products that have gluten in them. They do clean their lines between runs, and they test, and they always come up negative for gluten. If you are celiac or highly sensitive, you may want to stay clear of these. If you're gluten intolerant and aren't as sensitive, they're probably okay. So even though I've tried one, I was okay, but I'm not going to say just because I'm okay, you will be, so you make that decision on your own. But even if you can't do the little ones, well, we're going to wrap the long ones, and then when they come out of the oven, we can cut them into little bits to make them appetizers, so no worries there. Okay, I've got my hot dogs ready to go. I have the dough here. And I just need a bowl to actually scoop the dough into. I sprayed my bowl, now I'm going to spray my scoop. I got a big scoop here because we're just looking for a large quantity. We're going to roll this out. I don't want to take the entire batch of dough and roll it, so we're going to do it in 2 batches. I'm going to start with 500 grams of dough, which if I actually turned on my scale, that would be good. Okay, I'm going to start with 500 grams of dough. That's 268, 470, that should, just a little bit more. Doesn't have to be exact, but that's pretty darn close. I have 2 sheets of parchment here, about the size of my work area. The one on the bottom I'm going to spray really well with spray. And then I'm going to put this one upside down and spray that as well. That's going to be my top layer for when I roll. And there is going to be rolling involved, kind of like a pie crust, but much easier. I have this wonderful little roller I've had for years, but you could use a regular pie roller as well. So I'm going to take my hands and get them wet first. I have a bowl of water. I'm going to make some room here. Okay. I want to get my hands pretty wet, especially my palms. And I'm going to take the dough. And I'm going to start pushing it out with my hands. It's a good idea to get pretty close to we're going for a rectangle here with your hands before you start rolling it. It'll make it a lot easier and you won't get as many thin spots. Okay, I think I'm in a good place here. So I'm going to take my parchment and put it down. And you don't want to press too hard, you just want to roll it out and get it thinner. I'd say about 1/8 of an inch is the goal. And if you had an actual pie roller, you're going to want to go from the center to the outside. You don't have as much control as I believe I have with this little roller. I'm still kind of going from the center to the outside and feeling along the way if I have any valleys or peaks in here. So now we're going to take a look. You may get a little stickage here, but you may not either. And there we go, no stickage whatsoever. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this. And so, let's see, yeah, it feels good. I am gonna take the edge off here. I've got a very sharp knife. And I'm gonna get rid of this and put it back in the bowl. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. So we have a nice smooth edge. Okay, we're gonna start with the little guys. Put it here so I have size. You just want a little of the edge sticking out. So I'm thinking, let's go here, that way I can cut right around here. Cutting a strip. And then I'm gonna, and you might need a knife up under to get you started. I'm gonna go 1, let's get in there, 2. That feels about right. And make sure that the edge that you have that has been sealed, the heat of your hands will seal the edge. Oopsie. Almost forgot to spray. Light spray is all you need. Okay, we're going to start lining these guys up. Okay, I think I'm going to do a few more of the little guys. And you can roll these, if you want to roll them 2 or 3 times, you can. It just depends on how much dough you want wrapped around your cocktail weenie. Okay, and you may need to stick your fingers in the water occasionally. Now this piece is going to be too small, so I'm going to discard it to the bowl. And now I'm going to do a few more of these, I think. I think that looks like, there we go. And you'll get better at this as you go along, as I am. I can't say that I've done this in a very long time. I think that actually may be enough for one more. Let's see. Yep, made it work. Okay, so now we're going to do some of our larger hot dogs. I'm going to do the same process, put that there. Know that I'm going to want to cut right around here. Some water on my knife. It's going to be the same process. These are going to be a little bit easier to roll. Make sure you have wet hands or moist hands. Putting a little bit more dough on these because I want them to be a little more substantial, especially if we're going to cut them into little pieces. Okay, so there's that one. I think I might only get 2 out of this strip. And that's okay, we have more dough. Yeah, that's good. Okay, this dough back in the bowl. This one I cut a little wider. I felt like I had too much hot dogs sticking out the sides, but we'll see when we bake them how they turn out. Okay, I went ahead and got a new piece of parchment for my bottom sheet. I think didn't want to run into any issues. I'm going to use my same piece that's back there for my top sheet. Okay, I've got my dough. This will pretty much finish out the batch. You'll have a little bit more, so if you wanted to make quite a few of these, I'm going to say we're probably going to get out, I don't know, we'll have to count, but at least of the hot dogs, probably 8 of them, and the little, if you made all little guys, you get quite a few. I'm going to go ahead and finish these up, and then we're going to get them in the oven. Okay, I am not going to do a second rise on these. These are going to go straight into the oven. I am going to fix this little guy right here. And if you notice, there might be a baguette on there. I just can't waste dough, so I'm not sure how it's going to turn out, but you know, we're gonna try and see. Okay, I almost forgot the little the little trick. Now I don't have a trick, but something I like to do with these is I'm going to put some butter on them, and then I'm going to put some seeds on them, just for a different flavor and a different appearance, especially for appetizers. I think this works really well. And you don't have to do them all. You can do a few if you like. So here we go.
Tell us what you're using.
I'm using the everything but the bagel mix from Trader Joe's. But you could use poppy seeds, sesame seeds, garlic salt, onion salt, whatever you wanted. There, I think that looks really good. We're going in at 400. We're gonna have to rotate these halfway through. So I'm thinking they're gonna take about 20 minutes. So I am gonna set a timer for 10 minutes and then rotate the pans. The pigs in their blankets are out of the oven, and I am really thrilled with how they turned out. What's interesting, and I did this kind of purposely, is to show you the different ways that you can create these. So this little guy here, this appetizer guy, doesn't have quite as much dough. You see more of the little weenie. This one has a little bit more, and then this one is completely covered. So it depends how you like them. This is to illustrate that you are in control. Put as much or as little dough around these as you want. The one thing I will caution you against, and I was not careful, you want to make sure that your seams are tight, and at the very least your seams are on the bottom, because this seam kicked out, but that's fine. I'm going to eat that one. This one to me is pure perfection. Now this seam was at the top, but it was a little sealed better, so it didn't roll. This to me is the perfect pig in a blanket. That's my favorite. So I could dip, but I think I'm going to cut these into little pieces. And so I have so many different sauces you can use. We've got barbecue sauce, pizza sauce, ranch, ketchup, and mustard. So I'm going to go into the barbecue sauce first, and then the ranch, because I'm the only one eating this and I can do this. Oh my God. Oh, it's so good. Oh, that is a wonderful treat to have this. I haven't had these, I don't know, 25, 30 years. Maybe more than that. These are so good. I remember we used to make them with the Pillsbury biscuit dough, and there was always something about that biscuit dough I didn't like. It had a funky flavor. So I like these so much more. And what's also amazing is every sauce except for the ketchup and mustard, we made. We made the barbecue sauce, which we have a video for that. The pizza sauce, we have video and a recipe for that. The ranch, and then these would be really good with honey mustard, which we also have a video for that. So I'm going to take one more bite because they were that good. And so you could cut these and serve them. You could serve them like this. I would actually stick the toothpick through here and serve these. So if you make only hot dogs, you can slice them like this, put a toothpick in. These are perfect appetizer bites. Okay, I'm going into the, pizza sauce. Ooh. Oh, really good. One of the best things, other than how great these taste, is how well they freeze and refrigerate. You can put them in the refrigerator, I'd say for 1 to 2 days. When you're ready to eat another one, just pop it in the microwave for 30, 45 seconds and you're good to go. Alternately, you can make a batch of them, put them in the freezer. I would freeze them somewhat individually, maybe 2 or 3 a bag, pull them out and then put them in a toaster oven, probably 10 or 15 minutes to heat them up. I don't think I would take them from the freezer to the microwave. You might get a little too soggy. But if you did thaw them a little bit in the microwave, then hit them in the toaster oven to give them a little bit of crispiness. So it's very, very versatile. This is a great snack to have in your refrigerator or freezer. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you make these and have fun with your family. I'm sure your kids are going to love them. A link to the full recipe is in the description below, or go to gfexplorers.com. And until next time, happy eating.